Check, check. What up, what up, what up, y'all? What's good, y'all? How y'all doing today? All right, I'm gonna wait for a little bit for some people to pull up in here. I gotta talk a little shit today. I know y'all ain't used to me being on during this time, middle of the day, kind of 2 o'clock. I normally do most of my stuff on Fridays and Saturdays. I normally be on some of the other apps. But yeah, we gotta talk a little bit, man. Cause they messing with your boy. We gotta have a conversation. First thing I'm gonna talk about today is we're gonna talk about racial profiling in general, what it is, and how I feel that this has happened to me again. And I'm gonna speak my truth. And then the second topic we're gonna talk about today is popularity. We keep hearing this word a lot lately, especially in the area that we're in. For the most of you that are gonna be watching this, we're gonna talk about, is it good or bad? Because I'm seeing a lot of posts and hearing a lot of people talking about popularity and how it, has to do with them and what they got going on. And to a certain degree, even in my past, I've had some thoughts on it. So I want to clear some things up and let's talk. So first of all, anybody that's here who's pulled in the chat, let me know if you can hear the audio pretty well. I didn't have a chance to check it much earlier, so let me know what's up, and then I can get started. I'm gonna wait for everybody to pull up, but just know I'm bringing some statistics to go along with the feelings. Again, you guys, let me know with the audio. Okay, you say you can hear me loud and clear. All right. So today I went to Roses on Macon Road. Now, to give you a little bit of the background, when it did was my main off day, normally Mondays and Tuesdays, I don't do too much content. So I decided to go and I grabbed me a shirt from Ross because I got an appearance somewhere in a few days. Want to get a nice shirt. Your boy losing a little weight more. So needed to get something that fits this new body type I got. Your boy can actually fit in some slim stuff. Been a long process. But anyway, so I went to Ross, got me a shirt, and I think I went into the shoe store, couldn't find something, nothing that I really wanted. So then I went to Dollar Tree, grabbed a drink, and I think I grabbed like a bag of chips or something. So I got all of this in my bag from Ross. Then I went into Five Below. Went in Five Below, didn't have any issues, didn't see anything that I wanted there. I said, okay, I'm gonna go on Ross and try Ross. I've tried everything up on this strip pretty much. Let me go. So I went in about 3 or 4 stores before I went to Ross. When I go inside Roses, I have on some headphones. I had on my son's beats that he had, so I couldn't really hear anything. I walk past, I get maybe like a second now, I hear yelling, yo, we need that bag. I need that bag. So it's a Caucasian lady and it's a black lady that's there. I don't know who's the manager. I don't know what's going on. I look and I say, "Hey, there's something going on." Now, to give a little bit more context, as I'm going into Ross, there are 3 Caucasian ladies, three, not one, not two, not three, that were together in a group. Now, the reason why I recognize that because one, they were right in front of me as I was walking in, but two, one of them had a very, very large purse, like the type of purse that you will take to the beach. It's not really a purse. It's more like I don't know how to explain it. It's a satchel. It has two, but it's really big. Okay, so it's really big. That's all I can put it. Where you can fit a lot of stuff in. Meanwhile, the bag that I had was a clear, well, translucent, not, it wasn't totally clear, but it was a plastic bag from Ross where you can see the stuff in there. Very small bag, plastic grocery bag that us in the community, we take and we have 20, 30, 40 of them stuck up under the sink or in the closet somewhere. One of those bags. Can't fit nothing in that bag for real, for real. And for those who've been in Roses, they have a large selection of things that are like super big. You get pots. People who are into gardening go there a lot. The front of it looks like when you walk in a Home Depot. You got pottery soil, you got large pots and plants. Ain't nothing I'm coming in there to take, number one. Number two, the only reason why I was in this store was because I had already looked at everything else besides the AutoZone thing that's in there. So I said, hey, I got some time to spend. Don't have nothing to do today. Supposed to be a truly off day. I'm not even supposed to be doing any content besides on my phone, maybe editing. So this is what upset me. The aggression behind it, I guess maybe I didn't hear it the first time. So I will say that I did have on some headphones. But that upset me. The aggression that I heard. So I was like, okay, you didn't say anything to three Caucasian ladies that walked in front of me. You immediately said something to me. And then how do I know that nothing was said to these ladies? Because they were still walking around the store. I made sure to go look and check, and they had the same bags that they had. So there was no issues with it. So what is the difference between me and those ladies? Our age, our gender, and our color. Those was the difference. One of them might even could have been close to my age because we all know, you know. Anyway, but so I was like, hey, like, is there a problem? Oh, that's our store policy. Well, you didn't say it to them. And before I could even let them answer that, I said, hey, can I see your SOP? They said, what's the SOP? Now, I've been through this before with AMC Theaters at Hollywood Connection, which is why I don't go to that specific movie theater, by the way. But at least when we went through the full thing with AMC provided some context, some clarity. Hey, listen, we don't have this specifically stated, but in our general processes, we do have the right. Here's the line. They have one of those general catch-all phrases, whatever, whatever, whatever. They at least did the due diligence. It's still bullshit at the end of the day because if you can come in with a purse or you can come in with, some people can come in with whatever that they come in with, which is literally their function, is to keep things hidden and so you can carry it, by the way. But my bag has to be checked. My bag has to be left inside. My bag has to be looked through. Nah, bro, I don't subscribe to that. Now, if you're gonna have it, that needs to be posted. Just like when they say, no face mask. When they say no, you have to have a shirt on, whatever. It's clearly posted. No shoes, no shirt, no service. Those type of things. Nothing like that is posted there. So I said, okay, you know what? There's going to be some trolls that's going to come in and they're going to hear this and then they're going to have a lot of stuff to say and yada, yada, yada. So you know what? Let me go and let me pull up my facts. Okay. Because again, you got to talk to people. And especially when you're doing content, first thing people do is look for ways to prove you wrong. So first off, let's talk about what is the definition of racial profiling. Racial profiling is the discriminatory practice by law enforcement or private security of targeting individuals based on race, ethnicity, religion, or national origin rather than the evidence of criminal activity. So let me say that second part again. Rather than the evidence of criminal activity. It violates constitutional rights to equal protection and freedom from unreasonable searches. Common forms include driving while black brown, traffic stops, pedestrian stops, and frisk, and surveillance of minority communities. Why is it that we keep getting policed extra? Why is it that the cameras matter now as soon as I walk in? Why is it that my bag is always the one that has to be put up? That's my question. So you can say, okay, you just gave a general definition of what it is. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is. All right. Okay. Understood. Got you. Now, let me do this. For those of you who've ever worked retail, there's a term called shrinkage. Shrinkage is the loss that a company has for whatever reason. Right. So let me paint you a picture. I've been managers and assistant managers at different companies. One of the first things that is taught to us is percentage wise, white women are the ones who steal the most. Now we're talking about external theft right now. That's what we're talking about. I'm gonna get to it, the internal theft and internal shrinkage, but just talking about that. So when we are always looking at a black person when they come in the store, statistically speaking, they are less likely, right? Just like when we have the SNAP conversations and stuff, when statistically speaking, white women are on SNAP and benefits more than black women, black men are. So we're gonna have that conversation. Let's be real. And I think I don't have to look that up because I think all y'all had really been looking that up and paying attention over the past, especially the past year when the SNAP benefits went down. Or the DEI conversation, equity and inclusion, okay, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? That didn't hit us that as much as y'all thought it did. Now, I'm not the person that does the whole black versus white conversations or whatever. I don't play the black card when something happens. All right. Now, have I spoken from time to time? Yes, I have. But we gotta be real about this conversation because I got a comment. Matthew Collins says, as a former asset protection person, I can concur that most of the people that he had stopped for theft were actually Caucasian. So let's get into the stats. Okay. Now, this is from FBI data now. So when y'all say that, oh, the stats that you're looking up are slanted and stuff like that, why would they put this up here if it was not the truth? If they were trying to hide it, right? 69.4 of all arrested individuals for property crimes, including theft, were what? What color? If your answer is white, ding, ding, ding. 26% were black or African American. Do what you will with that information. So let me tell you something. When you're working at these places and you see a black man come in there, you see a black woman come in there, even if they have a bag, you might want to think twice and stop assuming. Because it's starting to get, well, it's past crazy. It's past crazy. So again, 69.4% of all arrested individuals were white and 26% were black. They teach you when you doing managerial classes at retail stores and things like that, whether it's Dollar General or it's that type of stuff. They teach you shrink comes the most from white women. Over 50% is from white women. Now, it's not about them or anything like that, but I'm just saying this is what the stats show. Okay, so then let's go to this. Y'all be so worried about people stealing and all that, right? But we got to get into some other stuff, right? Theft in stores comes primarily from people who work there or excuse me, shrinkage from stores, which is their total loss of property, comes from either people stealing in the store, internal theft, right? People, their employees, or it comes from mechanical mistakes. For instance, the forklift dropped a bunch of sodas. Now you have to write a loss on that, whether it is operator failure or mechanical failure, and then just straight theft. So can we please stop with the narrative of we just coming in here stealing? Now, there are always exceptions to rules. Yes, people steal. Okay. But it's not the usual suspects. Matthew Collins says the usual suspects are the ones always trying to throw the statistics in our face. But guess what? They don't even have them correct. And that's what pisses me off. So y'all up here, you see a black man walk in the store and I got to put my bag up. But these same people have bags 5 times the size that I have. What you need a bag that big for coming in the store? What you need a bag that big for in life? You're supposed to use that when you going to a beach. What you doing? Y'all tell me. Now, this ain't one going to be long or whatever. Y'all make sure you leave your comments. Let me. Now, I had another one. If I can bring it up real quick. But I'm trying to think. Got you. All right, here we go. I got it. Now, retail shrinkage in the United States has reached a critical point, with the total annual losses estimated at $112 billion. All right, that comes from the National Retail Security Survey. While retailers initially attribute these losses largely to external theft, a more detailed breakdown shows that internal theft and operational factors also play a significant role. That's the National Retail Security Surveys. It says here, to give you specifically, external theft, which is people from the outside, are only 37%. Okay. Employee theft, just employee theft, is 28%. And control failures, which are, like I said, some sort of machine messing up, is 25%. So that's 25 and 28. So what's that? 53. That's over 50% of all the shrinkage, all the loss. Y'all need to be worried about your people who are in there that's robbing you blind. That's what you need to be worried about. Then a black man walk in the store and all of a sudden, we got problems. That's what you need to worry about. Worry about them so-called equipment failures, because I've been there too. Oops. It fell off the machine. It's warped now. They have whole trainings and the whole companies that take the goods that are slightly warped and resell them and make millions and billions of dollars. Just to let y'all know, by the way. So everybody ain't taking a loss on that stuff. But that's neither here nor there. But you worried about the black man walking in the store. He stole something from me. He gonna steal something from me. Now, let me see what Matthew Collins says. Some of the factors I was trained to look at for besides the unusual oversized bags, but the coats, groups that come in together. Yep, and of course, internal theft. Person who was asset protection for years. I remember meeting him and I didn't even know who he was. I remember he used to work at the Walmart. But anyway, before I even did any of this type of content, I worked there too at that Walmart. All right, so that's I'm just gonna end off on that note because at the end of the day, they're not gonna do shit about it. But I needed to get it off my chest because they be pissing me the fuck off. And I'm tired of people trying to treat me like I'm some sort of demon coming in. Okay. I got on some workout clothes. I got on a regular, I can't even fit nothing in this. Anyway, now the next one is popularity good or bad? Now, this is gonna be one that is a it's not really tricky for me, but I know it can be a little tricky for people. Now, I'm going to give out the exact definition of what the word means, right? And then we're going to go, let's look it up. Popularity definition. Looked it up earlier, but I want to say it word for word. All right. Popularity is broadly defined as the state of being liked, admired, or supported by a large number of people. In business and retail context, it refers to the demand for a product or service relative to alternatives. Core definitions in general, the quality of being widely accepted, admired, sought after. All right. In social science, researchers distinguish between two distinct types. That's likability, which is based on being genuinely well liked, cooperative, and helpful. And then there's also a popularity that's based on status. That's your visibility, power, influence, and social hierarchy. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Now, you can measure it by exposure when it comes to business and timing. Cool, cool. All right. That's that. Now, so is it good or bad? I think, just like Matthew Collins says, popularity can be good and bad, and it can. Yes, it can. It can be a tool that we can use to help people, and it can be a tool to be used to hurt people. But I want to address one side first. In a person, right? People don't understand sometimes how you became popular. All right. How whatever it is that you do has the motion that it has, right? And so in entertainment, what I see a lot is people who, when they lose at something, when they don't have something, or when people choose not to work with them, they automatically and they go and they say, "Oh, it's because you're popular. It's because, oh, I'm not trying to be part of the popular crew. I'm not trying to da 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 da." Man, listen, let me tell y'all something. Y'all don't know how many times have I seen people trying to get in certain cliques, but the only reason why they're mad is because they weren't allowed in. And honestly, most of the time when they weren't allowed in, it's because a lot of times they aren't like really the best people. I know we have this thing where we're like, oh, if I'm it's almost the pendulum has swung where everybody's like, I don't want to be popular. I don't want people to like me. I want to be me. I want to do me. And that's fine. And I understand it. I'll cover that a little bit later. But what I want people to understand is popularity in itself is not bad. All right. I've seen some posts that some of this was covered. Some of this I've covered in previous shows and things like that. But what I need y'all to understand is some of y'all don't understand what it takes to have gotten there. There are some people that are just, you know, cool. They did like one thing and it went viral and all that type of stuff. But sometimes it is earned popularity. Sometimes you're popular because you have a good name. Sometimes you're popular because you don't do bad to people. Sometimes you're popular because you actually give a fuck about other people, right? That is one of the things we got to understand about that. I'm gonna address all that. Okay, go. Give me a second. Um, to get to that. Um, even social standings, right? Sometimes it's actually earned. I know a lot of people don't want to accept that or don't like that way of thinking. There are people who have done really good things that give back to the community. Those are the people that we need to be pushing and that we need to do stuff for. Cool. Now, we cover the bad. I think Kago has it. If I'm saying, please, if I'm saying your name wrong, don't get me. But Mr. Clark says, I don't like when talent is disregarded because your social standing isn't as high as the next person. I totally agree with that. I understand that, especially when it comes to artists and things like that. That's why on my platform, send me your shit. That's the first thing I say. I got 8 to 10 songs I can do. Send me your stuff. I do my best to get them on during my 2 hours that I'm on. That's what I was given. That's what I do. So I don't do that popularity stuff. Now, as far as how I like you as a person, we are all flawed, right? Now, if you've done something to me, or if I know you talking bad about me behind the scenes or something like that, then of course, I mean, I'm human. Oops. That is what it is. But you ain't got to kiss my ass, and vice versa. Like, I be wanting people to watch me all the time. But it's people that don't watch me because for whatever the reason is. It is what it is. For me, I've gotten past the being upset about it. It's people out here that I personally feel aren't even half as talented as I am. But I had to realize everybody has a certain niche or whatever that they got, and people are there. So I used to think, oh, it's just popularity and da 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 da. Man, it's a difficult conversation sometimes to have because I do understand there are people that are not really where they should be. And I give you that because they got a homeboy who might be talented and, yada, yada, yada. But even that is networking and connections. Build the connections with these people. If you know a person has a social media platform that is crazy, right? Build a connection. Hey, my guy, what can we do so I can get on your platform? What can we do for you to share my show? And sometimes you got to swallow your pride a little bit. But we don't want to hear that part. We look at it, oh, we kissing ass and oh, we doing that and da 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 da. You ain't got to kiss nobody ass. I've been in interviews with big people and I've told them, yo, I'm not here to be a yes man. I'm not here to be a do boy. I don't go get coffee for nobody. I don't care how long you've been doing this. You could be in my same field and be the number one nigga in my same field here. It does not matter. I don't cower to nobody. And cool. So I rock with you. I understand where you coming from, my boy. I do. But I ain't that nigga. And I'm not going to kiss nobody behind. I got people coming after me now because I refuse to, kiss their ass. And I say how I feel. But you also have people that are mad because they never made it to where they wanted to make it to. And they mad because they see an up and comer in situations where they feel that they should be. Let's not be that person. So there's a balance, right? Popularity, when used correctly, some people should be popular. I think I seen a comment earlier. It said Denzel Washington, good popularity. I agree with that. He doesn't show up to everything. He ain't in everybody's Facebook. One thing he does, he supports good causes, or what I consider to be good causes. So now let's find the people that have followings. What's good, Sky? What's up? What's up with you? That's the thing. And that's the hard thing, man. That's one of the difficult things with this popularity conversation, man. Because people, I'm seeing all the posts. Oh, people won't work with me. I can't get into the popular crew. I see posts like, on the other side, hey man, it can't help that I'm popular. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it is what it is. Those are what I'm saying. Those aren't my words. These are just the posts that I see. I'm in the middle. I'm a person that a lot of people know me, but there is some people that's not gonna like me because of my personality and because I speak how I feel. And I don't cower to no man. And don't kiss now chick ass. Like, that's just me. But I rock with all y'all. I mean, when we talk about like the popularity type stuff, I have a platform for artists, and I'm literally saying, send me your stuff so I can play your stuff. I ain't asked you for nothing, I asked you for no money, I ain't asked you for nothing. It's nothing like that. Ain't no payola. Just send me your songs, cause your clean songs. And it's kind of hard to get them. I never thought that it would be this difficult to get clean songs from people. I ain't about to go and clean them for you. That's not my job. But anyway, I'm saying. But then when I go and I speak on that, guarantee somebody gonna get this clip. They're gonna listen to it. They're gonna go and show people. Oh, see, he ain't supporting. Nah, what I'm saying is I support, but I'm not here to do it for you. I'm here to give a platform for artists to play their stuff. That's it. But if you can't do your part, then you don't really want to be in the game. Not saying I'm the only platform, not saying I can make somebody or nothing like that. But if you don't have them, then how you gonna go to V103? How you gonna go to Atlanta? How you gonna go to New York? How you gonna get your songs on those stations? And you don't have it. That's an example that kind of fits. It's parallels to what we're talking about, but you view them as bigger radio station DJs and stuff like that. So if Funk Flex came and said, "Send me your song," I guarantee you he'll have that song in 24 hours. If Vlad come and hit you up, if Ebro come and hit you up, they're gonna have that clean version very quickly. Yo, what's up, Drink? What's up with you, Playboy? But so when we start doing this popularity contest, man, we got to understand this. Listen, not popularity contest. When we start talking about popularity, we have to understand that some people did earn their popularity. Some people been out here in the fire. Some people, it took years for them to get hot, right? Whether it's locally, statewide, nationally, people have put in the work. There are people who have. And we have to acknowledge that first and foremost. By not acknowledging it, yeah, I ain't saying you agree with him, but I guarantee, come on, cuz you say what you want to, my boy, but if Ebro hit you up personally and says, "My dog, I need your song in 48 hours. I need a clean version." I bet you're gonna find a way. Whether you got a crowd fund, whether you gotta go and take out a loan, whatever you gotta do, your boy is about to like, let me I can use Drake as an example. Drake came on the scene and just lit it on fire out the blue. Came out of nowhere. Want to know what a nigga like me did? I didn't go, man, I've been doing this for years, man. My boy was getting crazy views for a time there. You know what I mean? He got 100 people watching live, playing folk shit, talking shit. Did I go get in my feelings? Oh man. Oh man, this is some new nigga coming in here doing what he doing. No, I did not support it. Anytime that man right here. If I'm lying, my boy, DeAndre, if I'm lying, tell him I'm lying now. You right here. Anytime you call me. If you had a device, Hey, if you needed any advice, you didn't ask for much or nothing like that. I ain't saying like I put you on or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. But anytime, any question that you had, anything, that's all I did. I wasn't no blockage. You ain't never hear about me talking about your show bad, saying nothing bad or nothing like that. Like, that's just who I am. I ain't gonna be upset because another guy is coming in doing something that might be sort of similar to some of the stuff I do. And that's what I don't understand about these cats. You see him in you see him. This he's with his words, not mine. So popularity, we got to stop getting mad when some people have reached a place that we don't think or we're not. Whether we started first, started after. I got people mad at me because they've been doing this years, and I guess I don't know what it is, but it's like DeAndre says, I already know for real, sometimes popularity can be draining. You get it when you start going places and everybody want a piece of you and they want to talk to you and they want to be on something, cool. And then it feels like there's nobody that's organically here. Now I'm not saying that I'm popular. I'm somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, again, like the people know me for all of the vehicles and stuff that I do, whether it's I'm working with the Dems or I'm doing the hot seat or I'm doing kicking it with Mr. Conversation or on other people podcasts. Cool, they know me, but they don't. Some people don't like me. They don't like an opinionated person that's running their mouth. And that's understandable. And I get that. Mr. Clark says, I don't dislike anyone for being popular or anything like that. I actually respect it and it makes me go harder as an individual because I feel as if I'm not where I deserve to be. I let that be my motivation. That's what's up. So that's what you gotta handle. DeAndre Moye says, like you can get uninspired for real when it don't feel the same no more. Understood, brother. I haven't really had that problem. Um, this, for me, I do it for the love of the game. I don't care if I don't make a dime out of it. Has God blessed for me to be able to make some money from time to time doing some things, and I love it, and I'll never stop doing it as long as I'm able to right now. D. Richardson says they mad that you achieved goals before they did. I don't know if it's always that. And sometimes I don't think it's just me. I think it's just that some people, it, it's not always me because I see some people going after just anybody if they feel that they're anywhere near their space or anything like that. I will say one time, not one time, but I used to be like super like, yeah, I'm me, I'm in this space, bull in the China shop. And then I had to realize that that wasn't necessarily helping me. Sometimes getting older and getting wiser helps with that. It's kind of hard because I ran afoul of some of the biggest people here in the area, just giving my opinions and stuff like that, which, some people don't like it. And I didn't really do anything to them, but it's just some of the things I say sometimes can hurt, can cut. People don't like it. So I just started learning that I got to be me, but there is a way to have some tact and everything like that. DeAndre says, facts, bro. And to be honest, I had lost myself through it and I realized that I had to fall back. Appreciate it for the comment about being a real one, man. Um, but in general, again, man, with this popularity stuff, man, all these lists that come out, like, we got to understand that these are just people's opinions at the end of the day. And one thing, if you wasn't here in the beginning, is that there's two types of popularity that I think people need to understand, right? And if I can go back to it real quick. But basically it was there's popularity because people you're generally liked, or there's popularity based off of basically what you can provide. It's just like when you in a relationship with the lady, right? And does she like you for you or does she like you for what you can provide? Which you still should be providing stuff and all of that. Don't get me wrong. But if she's just there just for that, then that's a false form. Now, there are groups in life that form either because of their hate of something or because they have a mutual, um, they can either have a mutual enemy or they can benefit each other. So, for instance, let's say an artist that already has a big social media following, and then you're a DJ, and then you're a radio host, right? So, in that triumphant, sometimes people work together because they can see how they can each help each other. And cool, that might be how you choose to do it. That's what's up. So some people might get pushed more than others based on, especially if you already kind of have some numbers and things like that. And let's be real, people jump on the bandwagon. If people see you have motion, yo, what's good, Mr. Lewis? What's up with you? When people see you have motion, they jump on the bandwagon. So this is what a lot of it is. But let me get to Mr. Clark. He says he disagrees. Let me read his comment. I disagree. For example, speaking as an artist, right? Some of us unknown people put up numbers and stats to rival the best of them. But because we aren't known locally, we are easily disregarded as not good or trash or lame. When people you know numbers wise probably ain't even close to some of what us lames are doing. All right. So I get that. Artists tend to do better outside of their city that they're at. I don't even think it's necessarily like local. This is something that happens everywhere. I hear artists all of the time. It'd be like people who are tend to be not from this Tri-City area, they come here and say they get more love than they did in their spot. I see artists from here and they go to other places, even if it's not that far. I know artists here, I won't say any names, but they go to Alabama, they go to like Birmingham, and they kill it over there. They're in Auburn, they're in some places in Florida, and they kill it. I don't know if maybe it's a different type of sound, but let's be real. Y'all know how this shit goes, and it's not right. You tend to do better outside of your community, and then your community jumps on the bandwagon. Let me give you an example. Antonio Armani. When he was first going there, people really wasn't checking for it. I happen to go to school with his sister and all that stuff, so I didn't know him personally, but I know the story, right? Columbus was not pushing him at first, but then other places started pushing him. The Southern Soul boom happened around at the same time, which, here in this area. And then now everybody is, oh my God. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. I get paid to do the same shit I do respectfully. Now, just fuck it. I get paid to do this shit other places. But when I'm in Columbus, Lord have mercy, this little thing did this thing again. Hold on. That's why I don't use this camera, y'all. Thank you. Go straight. So it's one of those motion trackers, and then when you put your hand up, it'll automatically move where you go. But excuse me, messed up the last 10 minutes of the podcast last week. But where was I at? Oh yeah. So you're gonna get people outside of your city that support way more than you do in the city that you're at. And then honestly, who cares about being known locally? Like, what does that do for your career? What does that do for your numbers? Like, I love my city. I'm here in the city of Columbus. I love it. I support Columbus 100%. But as an artist, you got to do what makes sense for you. If they're not supporting you here, you got to take your ass home. You got to go other spots. And I bet you clean up when you're there. Now, I saw you perform here locally, and I see people rocking with you in particular. I see people rocking with you. I know you got some people that rock with you at these stations. I know I met you through other people. So, with your situation, I I don't necessarily know. I can't call it. I know for mine though, I get paid to the same talking that I do for free around places here. People want me to do free events here. I get paid to do it other spots. I go to Beham. I go to Montgomery. I go to Pensacola, Florida. They pay for the appearances there. Just saying. But anyway, so the popularity stuff, y'all got to understand it's good and bad. But let's find some people that have the popularity and let's work with them. Let's do what we got to do. Talk to them. Reach out to them. Are you reaching out to some of these people? If you know this person get 1 million views a week on their page, what? Shoot them a text. Shoot them something. Hey yo, what's it take to get promoted on your page? Because if people are watching and people are looking, use them for your stuff. That would be my suggestion. But that's all I'm gonna do. I wasn't supposed to do this long on this. We should have a show early Saturday. I might do something early. According to them, we got some content we got to knock out. So I appreciate y'all. By the way, if y'all have topics that y'all want to discuss, period, whether it's solo with me or when I bring the ladies and some of the fellas on the hot seat, y'all hit me up in my inbox with your topics. Now, if you don't want it to be known that it's your topic, that's all you got to say. All right. It's strictly, what's the word? Confidential. All right. It's just like the Scarlet Letter or the Strawberry Letter on Steve Harvey, right? If you want to send a detailed description of what happened, if you wanted to be told, I can tailor content based on your conversation. Any articles that you want discussed, let us know. Also, if they're not too spicy, we can get them in on Kicking It with Mr. Conversation, which comes on at 10 a.m. on Sundays on 98.3 The Beat. And also, I do Beating Down the Block for all the local artists. So let them know to send their stuff, clean MP3 files, please, to the hot seat with EJ Thomas at Gmail. All right, y'all. That's enough for today. I appreciate everybody that pulled in. I love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Thank you for watching, whether you're watching the hate or you're watching because you love it. Appreciate the view. Either way it goes. And I'm going to holler at you. Also, please remember, treat people how you want to be treated, and this world will be a better place.